Warning, this podcast contains violence, sexuality, gore, and other horrible and disturbing things. Listener discretion is advised. Also, the hosts of this venture are ignorant dipshits, so please do not take anything they say as fact. And enjoy the show.
Now, are you sitting comfortably? Good. Then we'll begin.
Today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be.
It is our basic human right to be forgotten.
A second plane now has crashed into the other tower of the World Trade Center.
Put chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
The defendant shall be incarcerated for the rest of her natural life with no possibility of parole.
You are not machines. You are not cattle. You are men.
We were somewhere around Barstow, on the edge of the desert, when the drugs began to take hold.
Occultae Veritatis. Alrighty. Welcome back to Occultae Veritatis podcast. I'm Mood Gallifrey.
Sage Murray.
And I'm Richard Bigley.
Oh,
that was bad.
Fuck. Oh no. Do you have an effects board?
Yeah, I've got my own mixer set up here.
Oh yeah, you guys out there, you thought our quality was going to go down with your remote recording? Now we're going to be like radio DJs. Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Mood Gallifrey, I summon thee.
Oh hey, what do you need?
I don't know.
Yeah, so we're going to tackle the Proud Boys today. It's going to be nice to kind of get out some righteous fury at, you know, some people that deserve it, but first we need a little bit of poison.
So, what's your poison?
So, what's your poison? I think my poison is the mixing board, like my own. I've got my foot pedal and everything hooked up to it, so I can just like tap my feet to make it do that. It's kind of cool.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, it's amazing.
Okay,
well, my poison is the same wine that I drank on the last episode that we recorded from home, because Mr. Sage Murray bought me like 4 boxes of this wine.
Fuck yeah! Is it still as good as the first time? You rated it 10 out of 10.
I'm still gonna rate it 10 out of 10. I love this Malbec situation.
I know, like I said in the COVID-19 episode, I deliver food for a living, and I did a little shift this morning, and somebody didn't come pick up their food, so I got a free Blizzard. I don't even know what kind it is.
Fucking sweet, man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah. So it's a mystery Blizzard. I think it has cookie chunks in it, but it's like dark cookie chunks. I think it's like some kind of weird new Blizzard.
Like cookie fudge kind of thing or something like that?
Yeah, it's like the cookie dough, except it's like dark chocolate cookie dough. Like the dough itself is dark chocolate too.
Mrs. Richard Bigley likes the Hawaiian Blizzard. I have no preference.
Oh, I like the good old-fashioned Oreo Blizzard.
I think we should do like blizzards for a poison one week.
Oh my god, yes.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, I used to work there, so I can get like a variety of types.
I used to work at Burger King, and like they give me like a staff card, and you just show the staff card at any location, and you can get your staff discount off of your order there. And anyway, after they turfed me, they didn't request the staff card back. So for the entire year after they turfed me, I basically scored Burger King on discount for like everybody.
Fuck yeah.
That's awesome. I used to work in a mall, and I held on to my mall staff discount card, and I still get like A&W and stuff for cheap. And I haven't worked there in over a year.
You are definitely the person to know, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beyond burgers for everyone.
Yeah. Especially since A&W, like, it's good burgers, but like they're definitely some of the most expensive fast food out there.
That's why I usually like hang on to the coupons and I like go through the drive-through, because usually between the speaker and the window, the person who processes the payment forgets about the coupon and doesn't actually make you remit it. So you can just keep going back and back and back until you do get someone who remembers, and then that you have to surrender your coupon because they've requested it. But until such point, you can keep using it, eh?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised if some of the people in the drive-thrus just, like, purposely don't remember, because they're like, fuck this place that pays me minimum wage kind of thing.
Well, exactly. And it's like, you know, minimum wage, minimum effort.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. When I was in high school, we had a bunch of friends that worked at McDonald's, and you'd go to the drive-thru and they'd give you, like, just fill the bottom of your bag with chicken nuggets or whatever.
Oh, amazing. Fuck, yeah. Yeah, it's always nice to know, like, a friend that's a manager somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was fantastic. Mrs. Richard Bigley used to be work at a KFC as a manager, and the management discount at KFC was 80%. So, like, imagine going in on like Toonie Tuesday, and then ordering a bunch of toonies at 80% off.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
It was wonderful. I ate so much chicken back in those days.
I love going to chicken wing nights because I love wings, but like it always horrifies me like how cheap of an animal a chicken is. Like, okay, so I just ate, well, let me see here, 12 chickens worth of like wings. Like 12 chickens had to die for my one meal tonight.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you see, that's what I like about when you order like a burger and it comes with like bacon, or if you go to like some, Vietnamese place and you get like a noodle bowl with the pork and the sauteed beef and the shrimp, and it's like, yes, like 3 different species or 4 different species of animal had to die for this meal. It was fantastic.
Yeah. I tell you,
it's very dark.
Globalism brings you weird things. Like, you can reach across the world and bring exotic meats from the deeps of the sea and from across the world, like, to your plate for $5.99, you know?
Exactly.
Alrighty, so, to understand the Proud Boys, you have to understand a man named Gavin Mcinnes.
Most women are happier at home. They are pretending that they like working, and they're not making money because they don't stay all night at the office. They don't go the extra mile. They don't work all weekend. You're making a mistake. You would be much happier at home with a husband and children.
Oh, boy. There is a huge supply problem with xenophobes and racists. The demand is there, but they don't exist. So they're trying to find anything remotely, they're not going to get racist, but maybe we could find Islamophobic. In fact, that's why Tapper said, how about you say that about blacks? Can you say that? Can we find us a Gargamel? Because we're all Smurfs and we're looking for a cartoon bad guy. But the truth is, there is a problem with Islamophobia in this country, and it's Islamophobia. We are so petrified of offending people we're at war with that we bend over backwards. A student has an uncomfortable afternoon for bringing what looked like a bomb to school, and the president is on his Twitter saying, don't be mad, you want to come over? It seems like feminism has said, women, you're freed from the kitchen, and then it took them out of the frying pan into the fire, and they're just sitting in a filthy apartment, eating takeout food, getting used and abused by men. I've always said New York City is an elephant's graveyard for ovaries because women come here thinking it's empowered to get fucked by tons of guys and then thrown in the trash. That's the thing about all this feminism. Story. Men win. With free love and bra burning, we got tons of sex and jiggly tits.
I can tell you don't get laid a lot. When you do all this white knight shit, it turns pussies dry. If you white knight, okay? If you want to get laid, you gotta grow balls. When you do this fucking faggot shit, women don't want to fuck you. Even the biggest feminists, their boyfriends are fucking bikers. You need to grow your hair long, get a leather vest, and sit on a fucking crotch rocket.
In America today, we've got places like Dearborn, Michigan, which are basically fifth columns for Islam. So it is here in America.
It is here.
And in the UK, we just had a child pedophile ring going on that wasn't investigated by the police because they didn't want to appear racist.
What do you think about National Bullying Awareness Week? Is it going to do the trick? Is it going to solve the problem?
Of course not. It's a silly thing. It's just like this whole campaign that Canada had to eradicate hate, as Mark Stein pointed out. Not the crime, not the speech, the actual human emotion. Bullying is a natural part of being a young man. There's a whole Lord of the Flies hierarchy there that you cannot regulate. And to try to regulate it is to put kids in a bubble that's going to do them more harm than good because they won't be prepared for the real world. You know, there's fights. There's real physical fights every day. It's not just in business, it's how we live.
Kick-Ass 2 is a movie that sums up modern feminism, and it is women are men. Women kick ass, women are Marines. Like, modern feminism is, why aren't there more female superheroes? I don't know, because it's not a feminine thing to fly to a bank robber and punch him in the face.
But what about these angry women, you know, angry feminists? Or what? You don't want them raising kids, right? You don't want fucked up kids being raised by these angry women.
Yes, you're talking about a handful of cunts, but what's happening is these women like my wife, instead of meeting me and having 3 kids, they're going, I guess I should be in the workforce because men are women and women are men. So she goes into the workforce.
So you think they should rely on men?
She comes up with some stupid Converse idea, and everyone is just sitting pinching the bridge of their nose going, yeah, that's not going to work. We can't use Rolling Stones music in a commercial. It'd be like $3 million. You know what I mean? The dominant narrative in America is white people are evil, white people suck, we should be ashamed of ourselves, and
I don't think we should be ashamed of ourselves. I think that we should take responsibility for the system that we've created.
The best system in the world?
Oh, we do not have the best system in the world.
Who has a better system?
There are many European countries that are much better off than us.
Oh, you mean like the European countries with a higher density of whites, like Northern Europe?
That's one way to phrase it, I guess.
You don't mean Turkey.
No.
You don't mean Eastern Europe
No.
with the communists. So the only time you can come up with a system that's better than America, it's a country that's more white than America.
Gavin, would you support a Muslim American for president?
Hell no. That would be insane. That would be like having a German president in 1942 in America. Fucking Middle East. All feminists should move to the Middle East and get to work. I mean, if I was a feminist, I wouldn't be putting up white supremacy stickers. I'd be putting up stickers saying, get Sharia out of America. Or, we don't want your burqas here. Or, honor killings are dishonorable. That's a good one.
Burqas and hijabs, people can wear that. That's a religious expression thing. That's not.
Is it, though?
Yeah.
Okay. If the burqa is just religious expression and it's perfectly fine, why is it black polyester? In the Middle East. Why are you in a bin bag, as Billy Connolly puts it? Why isn't it flowing white gauze or a fresh cotton? It's clearly meant to punish the woman and make her suffer. And it impairs your vision. It's a form of oppression. But feminists in the West seem more concerned about high heel shoes, which women wear as a choice. But a burqa is not a choice. It's illegal not to wear one. And all over the Middle East, Sharia law dictates a woman cannot show her body.
It's about how they perpetuate the capitalist structure, though.
Minimum wage?
Minimum wage jobs.
You're not supposed to raise a family at McDonald's.
You may not be supposed to be, but there are too many people that is their only option.
Oh, because illegal aliens have crowded out the
Not
market.
just that.
Well, 15 million illegals working cheap has surely affected
Oh, yeah.
the bottom line. So I think if you're concerned about wages and the working class, you should be fighting illegal immigration.
All right. It's his
Everyone
year.
has to be involved in politics now. So women are on board and they have to have an opinion and young people have to have an opinion and they don't belong in the political discourse. It's like Dungeons and Dragons. Everyone has to be in Dungeons and Dragons now and they're throwing these 14-sided die going, 20-sided. Bernie Sanders, What are they doing here? It should only be landowners. If you don't have Esquire at the end of your name, you can't be involved in politics.
Oh. Why are all you wimps taking it for granted that violence is bad and that being macho is bad? That's how we got here. This idea of this beta male being powerful and in control is what, 20, 30 years old? You're going against 40,000 years of evolution. And if you want to talk about baseless, stupid violence, punching someone in a bar, that has been plummeting for the past 50 years. And to say we're a culture doused with guns, gun violence has all gone down. So totally irrational, stupid violence has all been going down. And so this idea that there's all these shootings, so they're on the rise, it's a quantifiable myth But the idea of men having to be tough, sorry, but we're the breadwinners for the majority of cases in the Western world. And yeah, there's an element of violence or at least toughness in running a business. Just the other day, this coworker was telling us, what the fuck, you moved this director over to this other job? And I had to come back and say, don't fucking give me this what the fuck shit, okay? We moved the director to a job that was paying more money. It was almost like a fist fight with words, and I had to do that in order to generate income to pay my bills, to feed my children, okay? So this innate toughness that men have is crucial to our survival.
Gavin Mcinnes is a guy that I've talked about in the past. I think I mentioned that I'm excited to complain about him, because he's another figure that I've kind of kept track of and followed throughout the years. Like, I first encountered him when he was the judge of the Who is Cooler contest on Kenny versus Spenny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And Kenny versus Spenny is a show where these two friends compete, and he came from this magazine called Vice Magazine, and that was one of his first pursuits, producing Vice Magazine. He began as kind of like a journalist, a magazine editor. And he came to judge who is cooler amongst these two.
That was like what a Russian would do. Like, say we're in rural Kazakhstan or something, and you know, the far, far east, and someone said, "Look up cool on the internet and be cool." You have 10 minutes.
You know what? I think the coolest thing that's happened was that I was a fucking friend to him, whether it was real or not. That's fucking cool. And don't let anyone from some fucking rinky-dink magazine say any different, okay? I never even heard of the fucking magazine. Vice. What is it, fucking for cops who bust prostitutes?
So I don't know why I even came down for this thing. The Spenny dressed like a Greek rapist comes down the stairs. It was the end of the competition. They could have emailed me a JPEG. Why did I fly down to Toronto for this? Kenny wins. Kenny's cooler. Doi.
But who is he really? In the modern day, he's a mask-off fascist. He supports something called Chauvinism, the traditional family, and violence to solve problems. As we start to talk about this guy, you'll see that he's kind of like the embodiment of like toxic masculinity and like proud ignorance. He dresses far-right views in a flashy suit and a charismatic presentation. He's kind of like a useful idiot for the far-right.
He's a pretty good-looking guy, too.
Oh, yeah. And, like, he's legitimately charismatic. Like, I think people tend to cast that off. Like, a lot of these alt-right figures that we talked about are charismatic people. They can, like, hold attention. And they're often, like, good-looking, too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes the enemy comes in, like, a nice package, but they're still the enemy. Bash the fash.
Yeah. Bash the fash.
Yeah.
Bash the fash.
So, just to give you a taste of, like, who this guy is, according to Gavin, a man is someone who, one, has broken a heart, has gotten their heart broken, has beaten the shit out of someone, and has gotten the shit beaten out of them. That's his definition of what a man is.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Yeah.
He seems like a really charming fellow.
He was born in 1970. I think he's 50 this year, if my math is right. He co-founded Vice magazine in 1994, described and self-marketed as the hipster grandfather. That's how he marketed himself as. Like, I made this, like, super stylish style magazine that's full of culture, so I'm the hipster grandfather. In Vice, he wrote such articles as Vice's Guide to Picking Up Chicks in 2005. This is some of his advice to pick up chicks. Don't dress like a guy who is horny. Be gregarious instead. Respond to all statements and objections with no problem, and keep on going. You contact her 1.5 times less than she contacts you. And use big 50-cent words, but don't fuck them up the way black people do. That was a direct quote from one of these articles. What? Yeah, that was a direct quote of his from one of these articles.
Oh, I hate it.
Right? Like, just let that happen, or what?
Yeah, it was the year 2005. It was kind of a different time. It was
back when Vice wasn't actually progressive.
Yeah. Yeah, like...
I don't know if it's progressive now, but I don't know.
Vice has transformed quite a bit since Gavin left. And, like, Vice fired Gavin at a point in this story.
Okay.
So, yeah. Yeah, in here we go. In 2008, Vice pushed him out of the company when he started to talk about being proud to be white. He immediately became more openly radical, and he founded the Proud Boys on a site where Richard Spencer was executive editor.
Makes sense.
And Richard Spencer is like he's a Nazi. Like he's like, hey, I'm here to speak for the Nazis. Like he's literally the Nazi guy that goes on the news.
You want to create a nation of white people, dispossessed white people. Is that right?
So the ethnostate is an ideal that it would be a state for all people of the white race. It would be our homeland. It would be our safe space.
Safe space?
Yes.
Why do you need a safe space?
Why do Jews need a safe space? Do you want a safe space?
Do I want a white ethno-state? A state I can't live in? No.
Why would you be against that?
Sorry?
Why would you be against it?
Well, let me see. There was slavery. That was a kind of form of ethno-state. There was
can't have an ethno-state?
There was apartheid. And that didn't work out so well.
It didn't work out well for us, no.
It didn't work out well for anybody. It was a very, very bad idea. And
Africans have benefited from their experience with white supremacy. And we just have to look at the...
Really? I'm just going to leave that out there. I'm just going to leave that out. You know, that is not even worth challenging. You have at it. Africans have...
Look at the average life of an African American in the United States. It's far better than any African living in Africa.
Really? So slavery was good for them?
Look, they benefited from being in a different nation than their own, no doubt.
Really?
No doubt. How can you deny that?
Sorry?
How can you deny such an obvious fact?
It's such a ridiculous notion.
How is it ridiculous?
It's such a ridiculous notion that people forcibly removed from their homes and taken to this country to work for nothing for a couple of centuries, that benefited them. Have you ever for a second considered that if they were able to stay in the countries where they were born and lived and weren't forcibly removed, that those continents might be in a better state now?
I seriously doubt that.
Okay, so he co-founded the Proud Boys after getting kicked out of Vice. So what are the Proud Boys? The name comes from Disney's Aladdin. It was a deleted song that didn't make it into the final movie, and the song's name is Proud of Your Boy.
Proud of your boy, I'll make you proud of your boy.
So his idea is like the Proud Boys are working towards a level where their dads can be proud of their boy, like that kind of thing.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a combination of Western chauvinism and aggressive patriotism. So the Western chauvinism half, so they're aggressively pro-life. They don't believe in abortion. They don't believe in terminating pregnancies. They think that the secular government was influenced by Judeo-Christian ethics, so they think all the good things in the government are from Judeo-Christian ethics.
Ew.
They believe in blatant displays of patriotism, so they think that it's good to tell people you're American and that you're better than them because it's true. Like, that's the kind of blatant patriotism they're talking about.
But he was born in England and lives in Ottawa.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird, and I apologize, rest of the world. A lot of these alt-right figures, are Canadian, it turns out, so sorry. I don't know why we have so much charismatic alt-righters coming out of Canada. We're above capita for a weird reason.
Canada sucks too.
What?
I mean, we send them Justin Bieber and Gavin Mcinnes and Celine Dion.
Yeah. Deep State War.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and being a Western chauvinist means I am unashamedly proud of Western civilization. And when you pick that apart, that means that I am proud that the white man built the West to be the best place in the world. The white man made America the best country in the world, and we should be proud of that.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. They have aggressive nationalist beliefs. They believe that some people are superior to others. Some kinds of people are superior to others. And they have and it also combines some libertarianism. So kind of like they want very little government control. They believe in a free and open market can provide everything. They don't believe in a social safety net. They think that's a bunch of bullshit. Yeah, so there's a lot of that mixed in. So to be a Proud Boy, you have to be proud of your race, proud that men lead the household. You can't be gay. They kind of bring up the bootstrap meme, like, you know, if you want to succeed, you have to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. It doesn't matter about the material conditions that put you at a disadvantage in society. And they're fairly anti-government and anti-media. Like, they don't believe in really newspapers or journalism. They think it's just a bunch of bullshit put out there to confuse people. It's mixed, and, like, they have a bunch of odd beliefs. Like, they believe that it's natural to be domineering towards women because it puts them in a place where they can thrive and be happy. So if you're dominant towards your women and you put her in a submissive state, that's where she's going to thrive and be happy.
Nope.
Yep. They buy into the no-fap thing. No-fap is that kind of this, like, pseudoscientific Reddit thing where people believe that if you refrain from masturbating, you will gain, like, great focus and great, like control over your body, and, like, your testosterone levels will go up, and you'll have this animal magnetism towards women, and your life will improve in all these weird ways. Whoops, sorry about that. And yeah, they believe in that.
That's ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's one. Is that sort of like derived from like pickup artistry? Sounds like something that one of those pickup artists would also suggest or talk about.
Oh yeah, and like if we drawed a bunch of circles and they were like incels and pickup artists and fascists and Proud Boys, like there'd be a lot of intersecting lines in those Venn diagrams.
Yes, I would imagine so. That's why I don't like read Ben Shapiro books, is because I'm just too damn busy getting laid, you know?
Yeah. Please, Ben, I don't have time in the day to fuck all these women, Mr. Shapiro. You're giving me too much power, Mr. Shapiro.
Well, that's why you don't read Ben Shapiro books, is because, you know, you're just so busy.
Yeah, you'll never stop getting laid. Yeah, and there's also, like, along the lines, they're MGTOW, which means men going their own way, which is basically a belief that the Western world is so furiously unfair to men that men have no choice but to abandon all relationships with women, because any relationship with a woman is doomed to fail because society is so unfair to men. And sets up expectations that are unreasonable for the woman and all stuff like that. They kind of embrace anti-Semitism. They say that, like, Proud Boys have been quoted as saying, and like on message boards, things like, maybe there's a reason Jews have been ostracized. Like, you know, they're trying to make arguments like, you know, this group of people, the Jewish people, they've been picked on throughout history. Maybe there's a reason they've been picked on so often. Maybe they got it coming, like that kind of thing.
Oh my God.
There's 4 stages of initiation that coming to be a Proud Boy. Number 1, you declare yourself to be a Proud Boy, which means with no shame, you have to take it public, tell your family and friends, and recite to your family and friends this pledge. I am a proud Western chauvinist who refuses to apologize for creating the modern world. You basically have to come out as a Proud Boy and say that little pledge to your family and friends.
All right, this is important. Everybody needs to hear this. And I say it unapologetically. I am a proud Western chauvinist. And I will not apologize for creating the modern world. And neither should you.
That's so nerdy.
Yep. Number 2. No fap and no wank. So number 2, you stop beating off, you stop masturbating. And part of number 2 is you start being beaten up while reciting simple things. Like again, this sounds like some playground bullshit, but
yeah.
The first rule of Fight Club is...
Yeah, well, it's even more childish than Fight Club. Like, their initiation for getting beat up is like a group of guys will, like, get in a circle and start to punch the guy in the middle. And when you watch videos of this, like, they aren't really punching very hard. It's kind of like half-assed punches. And what they have to do is they have to name, like, categories of things, like brands of cereal and breeds of dogs while they're being punched.
I heard that. That was priceless in that video. Which one? Isaac. There we go. Say your name. My name's Isaac.
All right, I'm a proud Western chauvinist.
I'm a proud Western chauvinist.
Who refuses to apologize.
For
creating the modern world. You will now name 5 breakfast cereals. Go.
Light.
1.
Fruity Loops.
2.
Pebbles. Cocoa Puffs.
Count of 3. 4. One more.
Get it. One more.
Rice Krispies.
5. Just say it.
Come on, keep going. 5.
Say it.
I felt bad. I freezed at my fucking.
Huh.
Yep. You have to get a Proud Boy tattoo somewhere on you that says Proud Boy on it. And that's part of the, like, the whole, like, don't be ashamed. That's the number 3.
That seems more like birth control than anything to me.
Right?
Yeah. And number 4, and you'll see this over and over again, because these guys are going to have a history of getting into fights and getting arrested for assaulting people. Number 4 in the initiation is get in an altercation for the cause, which means fight enemies. Who are the enemies? Antifa, teachers, protesters, leftists, SJWs. Whoever's counter-protesting you, those are the enemies.
Oh my god.
Yeah. That kind of sentiment carried forward. They would cause and participate in many violent attacks throughout the years. In 2008, Gavin left Vice. In 2016, he founded the Proud Boys. And from 2016 to today, and they're still active today, they have been involved in many, many violent attacks. In documents from the alt-right, like chat rooms and like some live stream clips and stuff like that, the Proud Boys were described as, and again, this is nerdy as fuck, the tactical defense or the military defense of the alt-right.
What?
So when somebody like Richard Spencer, yeah, the Proud Boys led by Gavin, who Gavin's one of Gavin's core beliefs is that fighting solves problems, period. So he founded an organization full of men and taught them that violence solves problems, period. They were then co-opted by the alt-right. So say like Richard Spencer or some alt-right figure wants to do a speech at a university, and a bunch of like university students show up to protest that, the Proud Boys would show up and try and bait them into a fight. And oftentimes they baited these people into fights and then they kind of like rushed them. And that kind of trend continued. Yeah, this sounds like, yeah, some D&D shit. The Fraternal Order of the Alt-Knights, founded by 41-year-old Trump supporter Kyle Chapman, they started working with the Proud Boys. They started kind of being like the backup to the Proud Boys. And when you see, if you look up the Fraternal Order of the Alt-Knights on Google, you'll see them in their dorky, like, they have body armor and shields and batons. It's kind of like discount SWAT.
Oh, no.
And they're there to defend the speakers against the hordes of Antifa savages.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And this is what the Fraternal Order of the Alt-Knights claim to do. They want to defeat the unholy
alliance. Oh my god, it's like LARPing or something here. Like, yes. The first picture I find, they're all like wearing gas masks and helmets and like shields and shit. Like,
it's 1,000% LARPy bullshit.
It's LARPing. It's just like they're like live action role play. Like, that's all this is. Just goofiness. How do you say, do they expect anybody to take their shit seriously?
Oh yeah, they think they're in a war. They think they're in a literal war against these horrible leftists who are willing to kill any right-wing person who has an opinion. That's what a lot of their rhetoric suggests they believe.
One of the event's speakers was Kyle Chapman, also known as Based Stickman, a nickname inspired by his weapon of choice, a wooden stick. He urges his fans to usher in a resurgence of a warrior spirit to Western society, and claims it's an honor to be of service to the people who love America as much as he does. This year, Chapman formed the Fraternal Order of Alt-Knights, a militant group within the alt-right fraternity, the Proud Boys, who are recognizable by their black and gold shirts. This group will focus on street activism, preparation, defense, and confrontation. The Proud Boys are a bizarre group on their own. They claim that they are founded on a system of beliefs and values including minimal government, anti-political correctness, anti-racial guilt, pro-gun rights, anti-prison, closed borders, anti-masturbation, venerating housewives, and reinstating a spirit of Western chauvinism during an age of globalism and multiculturalism.
I cast magic missile. I attack Antifa. Deal 3 points damage.
Like it's such a weird thing that they love to like use the word snowflake like it's synonymous with the left, but like look at the tactical defense they put up against a peaceful protest. Like if you need to put up this much defense, how scared are you? Yeah, so the Proud Boys have become the street-level defenders against Antifa groups, communists, leftists, and Islamic people that show up to counter-protest right speakers.
Oh, yes, because those Antifa and Islamists are always on the same side.
Yep. So in 2016, they met up for the first time, and they made a uniform, the black Fred Perry polo shirt. And you guys can look that up as well if you'd like, the black Fred Perry polo shirt.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, in 2017, Fred Perry, the designer who made the shirt, denounced the Proud Boys in 2017, and he says he does not have any associations with skinhead groups. So, like, these Proud Boys selected his shirt as their official uniform, and he was like, no, I'm not with you, please no, but they're still using it, of course.
Fred Perry shirts. Fred Perry is racist. Did you know that? Me neither. But when you wear Nazi glasses, everything is racist. Now, there was this journalist, Zoe Beery. They love their little made-up names, don't they? And she works at Racked and Broadly and Village Voice. And she wanted to do a feature. I don't know if it's come out yet or if it's coming out, but it was about why Proud Boys wear Fred Perrys. Because that's racist, you see. Because Nazi skinheads wore Fred Perrys. And all dogs are mammals. All cats are mammals. Ergo, all cats are dogs. I don't know if Doc Martens have to go through the same rigmarole, but toilet paper doesn't. A lot of Nazis used toilet paper. You seem to be okay if you use toilet paper in this day and age. But the back and forth was downright bizarre because I kept explaining to her what Fred Perry means to everyone but the media class, everyone who's not wearing Nazi glasses. We see Amy Winehouse, Pete Doherty, we see Mike Skinner, we see that movie Kingsman. And we go, yeah, it's like working class Brits trying to look posh. And that's the origin of it, too. It goes back to, he was a tennis player, a man about town, had lots of girlfriends, and his shirts are neat and tidy. And when you have terrible wimp Grover shoulders like mine, it's one of the only polos that sort of provides the illusion that you don't have the body of a 12-year-old girl.
They met in person in the public for the first time in February 2017. So in 2016, they met online and started to form the organization, picking the uniform, and then they met up for the first time February 2017. Gavin had been an open fascist, flirting alt-right dipshits for a long time at this point. Like, here's some of his quotes before February 2017 about violence. Violence doesn't feel good. Justified violence feels great, and fighting solves everything.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Here's a quote about race. Use slurs. Most recently against... He uses slurs, and he used a slur most recently against Jada Pinkett Smith. He leans into stereotypes and has an axe to grind against Asians and Polynesians. He seems to, like, really focus on those two groups of people when he goes on his racist rants. And he's very much like, we have to have a proper mix of people in the country to make it work, and there's too many of these non-white people here, that kind of thing. He's openly anti-Semitic. He defends Holocaust deniers. He says Jews are responsible for Holodomor, which is a Ukrainian genocide in 1932. Did I say that correctly?
Holodomor.
Yeah, Holodomor.
Close enough.
Yeah. He put out a video, like before 2017, that literally had the title 10 Things I Hate About Jews. Like, he is not even hiding it at all.
What's this?
That's my Jew finger thing.
Oh, well,
Just kidding. We're not anti-Semites here. As you yourself put it, it gets to the point where people want to blame the Jews if it rains on their birthday.
Well, that was also, like, put out on Rebel Media. Like, that was a Rebel Media thing.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Like,
yeah, like...
oh, yeah. After he left Vice, he quickly co-founded and joined several organizations, and some of them rose and some of them fell, but he was jumping from, like, far-right media organization to the other, and Rebel Media has been a big one. Yeah.
Another Canadian, whatever, icon, I guess. I don't know. Ezra Levant's a piece of shit, so the whole group there is just shitty, and our Canadian Conservative Party is... kind of hand in hand with a lot of these people.
Yeah.
Yeah. But how can Ezra Levant be right-wing because he's a Jewish person?
Just asking questions. We're just asking questions, the usual alt-right lines, I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking questions, after they say something.
We're just telling the truth. No bullshit.
Yeah, and
or the alternative is like the Schrodinger's racist, where it's like, depending on the crowd reaction, he's either joking about his racist comment or he means it wholeheartedly, just kind of depending on the reaction of the crowd,
Yeah.
So February 2017, the Antifa group New York University Anti-Fascists heard Gavin Mcinnes was coming to speak and organize a protest. So like I said, Gavin was an out and about, like, far-right, kind of like mask-off fascist before this, and he was coming to speak in these anti-fascist organized protests. Outside, the Proud Boys and associates had rising tensions with the 6 anti-fascist protesters. So 6 of these anti-fascist protesters showed up to protest, and a bunch of Proud Boys, about 11 of them, and other people that showed up that weren't even Proud Boys to back them up, started, like, baiting these 6 people into fighting.
You're a faggot. What? Oh, you guys are all faggots. Shut the fuck up, man. Stay the fuck away from us. Get up. What the fuck is wrong with you, man? What the fuck is wrong with you? Huh? Huh? Let's go. Are you fucking drunk, you fucking piece of shit? All right. Don't touch! Don't touch! Go ahead! Go ahead! Don't touch! Go ahead! Don't touch! Don't touch! Come on! Huh? Come on! Huh? Don't touch! Huh? Don't touch!
These guys just came in with pepper spray. There's
what? Because it looks fucking cool. I want to be a dick. You're a fat guy. You're a fucking asshole. Go fucking that. Huh? Huh? Yeah. Come join us. Oh! Come on, really? Really? Yeah.
So,
fucking asshole. Dude, where are you going? Fuck! Don't play anything. Fuck! You guys wanting to fight him? I mean, wait. You guys want to fight him? He's in the face of domestic terrorism. Yeah, actually, yes. That is. All right, yeah. So listen, what are you doing? What it is? She's kind of big. One of them. So this is the. Please stop. Get a picture of it. Go. Let it go. Get a picture of it. Let it go. It's a girl. Dude, chill out. I'm trying to help her.
Oh, Gavin was pepper sprayed at one point and said on Twitter, thanks for asking if I'm okay, guys. I was sprayed by pepper spray, but being called a Nazi burned way more. So he was kind of like sarcastically saying, like, oh, you called me a Nazi, big deal. Like, that hurt so much. Yeah. Antifa ends up throwing a plastic Coke bottle at the Proud Boys, and then the Proud Boys take that as a cue to charge and start fighting. So these 11 Proud Boys, plus associates, beat the shit out of these 6 anti-fascist protesters. Several of them eventually went to jail for this ordeal. And this is a pattern that's going to repeat. They throw a provocative event, Antifa and associates show up to protest, Proud Boys and Antifa have a conflict, and usually people get hurt. Usually it's Antifa that gets hurt because Proud Boys tend to never start a fight fairly. They only want to start a fight if they have overwhelming numbers over the other person. Like if it was an equal fight, they don't really go for it. April 15th, 2017. So after a protest, after the tax return protest that was held for Trump. Remember 2017 where we were protesting that Trump wouldn't release his taxes?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Almost seems like a moot point at this point. Like, even if we found horrible things, they would never impeach him.
No.
Yeah. So, as a response to this tax return protest, a far-right group held an event called Patriots Day as a response. They had speakers called... one of the speakers was Lauren Southern.
Oh, yeah, she's a shit.
Oh, yeah, she's a Canadian anti-immigration traditionalist.
The nuclear family has been broken for the most part, and people feel disconnected from their mothers and fathers. They have no intention of getting married or even being monogamous for that matter. Most millennials are now single professionals living in a high-rise at 38 years old with no kids or spouse. Their neighbors? Mostly migrants, who are very different culturally. They don't talk much. In fact, many don't even speak the same language. The local church no longer offers much support and is soon to be replaced by some brutalist government office. And the only thing close to a unique identity an individual has comes down to what gender they decide to be that day, or what superficial hair color they use to try to make up for a total lack of personality.
Just an example of her content, she made a video called The Streets of Paris, where she has like text on the screen that says like, oh, the streets of Paris are changing so much after all these immigrants moved in. And it's literally just a sped up footage of her walking through Paris, and every time she walks by somebody that's brown or black, the video slows down and it focuses on them, almost like another invader in the white capital of Paris. Like that's her content. Ezra Levant, that's the guy you were talking about, right, Nathan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On top of being openly racist towards many group of people, he's also a lobbyist for Canadian oil and tobacco. Milo Yiannopoulos. He's an anti-feminist, a social justice warrior, like a critic, and he's anti-Islam. And on a podcast called the Drunken Peasants Podcast, he tried to defend pedophilia. He tried to argue that, like, sometimes older men will really teach young gay boys, like, the ways of love, and I think it's a positive experience.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, okay, so you were a kid and you fucked all kinds of older men, correct?
No, not a kid. I'd say I was a sexually aware, promiscuous 13, 14-year-old, perfectly able to give consent, unlike the 8-year-old girl that Sarah Nyberg took creep shots of and posted sexually explicit fantasies on the internet of.
Okay.
Which is what I'm getting from this video so far, but we make it.
How does everyone feel about the age of 13? Is that like everyone's
I think was perfectly fine, but the difference here is that I was giving informed and aware consent, and I was a sexually mature young man able to give consent and giving consent to sexual acts versus
you're saying
of an 8-year-old girl.
You're saying that you reached sexual maturity at a younger age,
yes,
you know, or at an early age. Okay. If I knew someone around my age that was like, I just had sex with a 13-year-old, I would be creeped out, honestly.
Yeah, what is your age? What is your age?
I'm almost 35.
Okay, well, I'm talking about 28-year-olds.
Oh, well.
Oh, okay. Well, that changes everything.
Well, you went
Paul's like, okay,
I'm
cool.
sure. I don't. I'm guessing, because I've never told this publicly, that you won't hear that in this video, but we're talking about 1325, 1328. These things do happen perfectly consensually. Often, by the way, it's the women who suffer in these, because what normally happens in schools very often is it's an older woman with a younger boy, and the boy is the predator in that situation. The boy is like, let's see if I can fuck the gym teacher, or let's see if I can fuck the hot maths teacher, and he does. The women fall in love with these nubile young men, these athletic young boys in their prime, and end up having their lives destroyed. They end up having to move schools, move the country, whatever.
Gavin bragged that he thought this event was going to get violent. So on one of his media stations, he bragged that, oh yeah, I think this is going to be violent. He told a reporter, one of my Proud Boys was a bouncer his whole life. He just murders people for fun.
What?
Yeah, like he totally doesn't give a shit. The Proud Boys were instructed to be there. The event started peacefully but quietly devolved into violence. 20 people were arrested, 11 seriously injured, and Nathan DiMaggio, founder of the white supremacist movement Identity Europa, was caught on camera sucker punching a protesting woman. Gavin said this event was a victory for free speech. Videos of Proud Boys beating up Antifa members were made into lol left-owned sizzle reel videos. If you've been on YouTube for more than 5 minutes, you've seen them. It's like a compilation of like SJWs getting owned, and like these videos of Proud Boys beating on Antifa members at this festival like really helped increase their members, because it got more like angry young toxic dipshits to want to sign up to this real life grown ass man fight club.
On the West Coast, I want to take you there where protesters supporting and opposing President Trump are clashing in Berkeley, California. This video was just moments ago, a fight breaking out among the crowd there, and it really escalated quickly. We watched this. We do know 4 people have been arrested and a couple of people have minor injuries, but we're working to get more information on exactly what is going down and what police are doing about it. Now, we have video, again, from moments ago that you are watching right now, fighting happening in the streets of Berkeley, California during protests among supporters of President Trump and those who are opponents. Police also tell us they've confiscated a number of items from the crowd, something they call contraband from demonstrators, like a knife, some wooden sticks. We are working to get more information on exactly what's happening. Last check, things seem to have calmed down just a little bit, but it doesn't take much for a scene like this to break out, as we've been watching these pictures for some time now.
Is he okay?
Yeah.
Alrighty, part 1 of the Proud Boys. Part 2 next week when we get more into them getting more and more active and causing more and more mayhem. But to play us out, here is their Colonel Bogey March, a British Army marching tune used from 1881 to 1945. Enjoy and see you in the after show. Hello, occultists, and welcome to the after show. It's been a minute since we read some Patreon prayers. Once again, if you'd like to have your prayer personally viewed by the eyes of Valhalla, just join our Patreon, www.patreon.com/ovpod, and you too can send prayers directly to the goddess herself. This is from cult member Stupid Fucking Brian. Val, please grant me luck in landing a job soon. I have a phone interview on Monday and can use all the blessings I can get. Praise, praise. Valhalla, please grant Stupid Fucking Brian a job. Please grant him luck in that phone interview. I hope you get it, bud. Alrighty, this is from cult member Joseph the Dead. Praise be to the great goddess in finding my new job. Being laid off from the Sheraton was probably one of the best things that could have happened to, and the new job is so much easier than the last. And we see here that the goddess spreads blessings. Joseph got a job solely because of the work of the goddess, and also his own hard work and competence. But it's like 98% goddess Valhalla. Alrighty, from Sage Murray herself. I'm just about to Marie Kondo my clothes. Please help me make good choices, Valhalla. Yeah. Marie Kondoing is a risky proposition because once you get rid of something, once you sell it, then you just don't have it anymore. And what if you need a really cute denim skirt for, a country jamboree? Nah, that'll never happen. Anyways, I hope that your choices are guided by the wisdom of Valhalla, and I hope your Marie Kondoing goes well, Sage Murray. Blessed be Valhalla. From Papa Bray himself. And every time I mention Papa, I tell you, check out his Twitch channel. Just do it. Val, my dumb dog Luna ate a bunch of my girlfriend's birth control pills and hay fever pills, and is getting her stomach pumped in the vet right now. Give her a swift recovery and make her not so scared since I'm not there. Yeah, I can really empathize with this. It's a frustrating experience, and I remember when I used to own ferrets, I injected water underneath of one of their skins because they had trouble drinking water at the time and were becoming chronically dehydrated. So we had to inject this saline solution that would hydrate them right under their skin. And I wish I could have a brain-to-brain connection with the creature, just so I could explain that I'm trying to hurt him to help him. I'm not just picking on him when he's feeling sick already. Yeah, I wish we could communicate with pets that we're trying our best, because sometimes I feel guilty having to, hurt them to help them, kind of thing. And being at the vet is definitely a stressful experience. But Papa Bray has posted an update since then. She's fine now. She was all fucked up on morphine, though. Valhalla, blessed be, the dog made it through the pill-ingesting experience. May the dog never touch birth control again. I hope your divine wisdom guides the pooper. Alrighty, that's all the prayers I have for today. Once again, if you'd like to submit your prayer, just join the Patreon, join the cult, fall under the wisdom and gaze of Valhalla, and feel the tingling that we've all felt ourselves. From Occultae Veritatis, I'm Ood Gallifrey. Make sure to try and get out of your house, even if it's just for a walk around the block. I think a lot of us have been at home for a long time now. Maybe it's time to see the sunshine for a little bit. Have a wonderful night.